Let's go. With approximately 60 trains per day between London and York alone, not to mention extensive regional and national services, York is one of England's major railway stations. Architecturally, it is also one of the UK's finest stations, a palatial homage to the railways and an enduring testament to the vision of Victorian engineering. But whilst today its 11 platforms serve York alone, this was not always the case. For this great historic city once hosted a number of stations that are now gone altogether. This is their story. This is the lost stations of York. 188 miles by rail from London and roughly marking the halfway point to Edinburgh, York is a city steeped in history, from its medieval minster to the seat of Roman imperial might in the north of England. And for the enthusiast, the National Railway Museum is a place of pilgrimage, celebrating as it does the pioneers, workhorses and record breakers of Britain's rich railway history. In that vein, we begin our exploration of York's lost stations. And to find the original York station, one does not have to travel far from its present-day successor. We see the present-day York station and its entrance on Queen Street. It is but metres away from its forebear, which is located within the city walls. This evocative photograph shows the entrance to York Station on the left, and on the right, a train departing what was once the original station. And here, the aperture that was punched through the city walls to accommodate the railway's path. It was thought that it would be more prestigious to have the station within the city walls rather than without. We stand on the trackbed and take in the same view. This building, from the days of the railway, still stands. With the minster in the background, this drawing captures the station, which was opened on the 4th of January 1841. And a similar view 180 years later. Originally a terminus, trains were obliged to reverse out of the station to continue their journeys to Newcastle when this route opened. This inconvenience was one of the principal reasons behind the station's closure to passengers, a situation remedied by the opening of the present-day station in 1877. However, the site of the original station remained open to railway traffic as additional sidings for, among other things, coaching stock. This ended in 1966, when the track leading to the station was finally lifted. Whilst much has been redeveloped, part of the train shed, with its ornate, delicate ironwork, remains in situ. And on station rise, we see the former station hotel across the head of the line. Round the corner, on Tanner Road, concealed behind the trees, the delightful facade of the station entrance. Whilst this may have been York's first permanent station, it was not, in fact, the first station to serve the city. So let us turn our attention towards... When it was being built, it became clear that the railway would reach York before the original station was completed. So it was that, hereabouts, on the land between the original station and what would become the present-day station, a temporary station was built to accommodate the incoming trains. Likely to be constructed of timber, it opened on the 30th of May 1839. Living only an ephemeral life, it would close on the 4th of January 1841 upon the opening of the original station explored earlier in this film. I hope you're enjoying this film so far. Please spread the word of this channel by hitting like, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this film far and wide. For our next station, we travel under a quarter of a mile south, where we encounter with the HOLGATE road bridge in the background, this Class 9F steams south with its rake of empty ore wagons, and we see to the bottom right of the picture one of the York racecourse platforms. Opened on the 14th of December 1860 and only used on race days, the station was built to serve the nearby racecourse and to ease overcrowding at York Station proper. We see the same view today. A service track occupies the site of the southbound platform, but the city's name remains emblazoned on the embankment. Facing south, the position of the northbound platforms can still be determined as the grassy area between the double-tracked and single-tracked lines. The station was popular with enthusiasts, since there was always a great variety of traction to be seen, and because it was rarely used by the general public. Last used by passengers on August the 24th, 1939, little of the platform remains over 80 years since its closure. From the south of the city to the north now, as we make a line for the next of York's lost stations. We depart York Station heading north along the line to Scarborough, where, after 1.5 miles, trains diverge from the now lost Beverley Line Railway, leaving the Scarborough Line at approximately this point, and heading into what is now trees behind Alder Way on the margins of the new EARSWICK Nature Reserve. Link Road now occupies the railway's course across the River Foss, but it was here that trains would slow and enter our next lost station. Opened on the 4th of October 1847 as Huntington Station, it was renamed EARSWICK in 1874. Comprising 2 platforms, the station master's house was incorporated into the main building. This photo captures the station looking neat and well maintained. Closing to goods in June 1965 and passengers in November of the same year, the station was demolished in 1970, with all traces having been swept away. Now the Hogshead pub, it was formerly named the Flag and Whistle, with this fine upper quadrant signal and ornamental detail alluding to the site's history. We leave EARSWICK, our northernmost station on the trip, and head south a little way to begin our journey to the next lost station. Diverging from the line to Scarborough, less than a mile north of York Station, was the Foss Islands branch, a railway serving the industrial sector and goods depots which occupied the Foss Islands area of the city. ROWNTREE HALT was not listed on any public timetable. It was opened in 1927 to allow employees at the ROWNTREE chocolate factory an easier commute to work. Pictured here, a rail tour visits the station, which was a single platform on the factory's southern perimeter. Closed in 1988, nothing of the station survives, though one can still find the location of the siding which ran directly into the factory, where small steam and subsequently diesel locomotives undertook shunting duties. Barred and gated today, a huge portion of the factory was demolished and, like the station which once served it, has been consigned to the history books. In the years since closure, the Foss Islands branch was transformed into a foot and cycle path which snakes its way through the east of the city. It was at the end of this branch that the railway connected with our penultimate lost station. The northern terminus of the Derwent Valley Light Railway, a privately owned standard gauge railway which, for a majority of its life, was used for transporting chiefly agricultural produce, York Layerthorpe acted as a goods interchange for the Foss Islands branch. Opened in 1913, the station closed to passengers in 1926 and to all services in 1987. Today, the area is occupied on one side by industry and a static caravan park on the other. Between 1977 and 1979, a summer-only steam passenger service operated between Layerthorpe and Dunnington, 3 miles hence. Like the Foss Islands branch, the Derwent Valley Railway has for some distance been transformed into a cycle path, and there are a number of architectural features which remind one that this was formerly a railway. So, after 1.5 miles, we reach our final lost station. The easterlymost lost station on our journey, OSBALDWICK lost passenger traffic perhaps as early as 1915, 2 years since the railway opened. The station site was home to a tar distillery and, later, cement production. Today, no trace of the railway can be found. Should OSBALDWICK Station or any other lost station we have explored been closed? Would their presence today have benefited York? Or were these stations and the lines they served justifiably shut? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to, share and like Rediscovering Lost Railways.